Absolute Guide to Half Nuts Part 1. So the first thing you need to do is, if you remove the Norton box from the machine, the first thing you need to do is to reinstall it and try to aim to get it as high as possible against this rail here. Just raise this a little bit, and when you're putting it together you can use something like feeler gauges to check that the both sides of your Norton box are approximately at the same height, so that it's parallel with the bed. It's not essential, and if you miss here a little bit, it's not a big deal, but the better you put it together, the better it will work. So that's that's first. Also, try to locate it flush with the left side of the lathe bed. So let me just move out a little bit here. This here is the left side wall of the lathe bed, and here, hidden behind this cover that I already installed unfortunately, is the corresponding wall of the Norton box. Try to make these two surfaces flush. Try to make these two surfaces flush, not this cover but the box underneath. Try to make it flush with the side wall. It's also not essential to do it, and a little slop in the left to right lateral direction is not going to matter much, but it will just look nicer if you do it that way. I actually tried to get the Norton box completely I actually tried to get the Norton box completely up against this rail, but the holes are not in the position that would allow this, at least not on my machine. So I had to leave a little gap between these two surfaces. Getting on the right side, lateral position in the left-right direction is not as important, because if you look at this here piece, this is the drive gear for the lead screw. It's actually a floating design, so it's not positioned in any particular, it's not located in any particular position laterally, and it allows for some movement of the lead screw. Also, this is the clutch for the feed shaft, and even though it is located firmly to this here piece, the shaft that goes in is not located inside it laterally, so it can move in and out. So lateral position of the Norton box is not critical, because both the lead screw and the feed shaft are actually located by this bracket that you put on the back of the machine, like so, and it actually locates both. The feed shaft is not located very precisely, because it doesn't drive, it just lets off rotational movement. It doesn't push the carriage left or right. However, the lead screw is, and it's bearing on this surface on one side and on this surface on the other, and this is what actually transfers the lateral forces to the carriage when your half nuts are engaged. I've heard from some people that they thought the lead screw is loose in the lateral direction because this shear pin here was broken, and that's wrong. As I just showed you, this gear is not is floating inside the casing. So if this shear pin is broken, the rotation will not translate into the lead screw, and you won't have a threading feed. But otherwise than that, this pin doesn't locate the lead screw at all. When you're putting together the Norton box, it's mounted with 3 screws. 2 are up here, and you can easily get to them with the machine sitting on the desk or a cabinet stand. However, the third one is located underneath the Norton box around here, and you can't even see it. I'm going to take the camera off the stand to show you this. And let me just shine some light in there. And as you can see, this screw is actually, the axis of the screw is further up than the bottom of the casing, so you can't really screw it in from the front. You have to get a short Allen key and enter from the bottom into this recess in the box and tighten it this way. So if your machine is positioned on a stand or perhaps on a desk, so if your machine is positioned on a desk or original stand, as mine is, you won't be able to get to this screw right away. You will either have to lift the machine off the desk, or you will have to slide it towards the front so that the front of the bed is flush with the end of the desk. And that is a little bit tough to do on this here stand because it's painted and I don't want to chip the paint and scratch it while dragging the lathe. So I did it by lifting the lathe up and tightening it while it was in the air. When you're setting up the Norton box, in order to set the lead screw and half nuts, you can just use these 2 screws. They will be enough when there are no